Hey there, guys. This is Flamzaron, aka YouTube's Tasuke. This past few days or week, depending on when I upload this, was the PlayStation's 20th anniversary, and I think it was this past Wednesday or Tuesday or something. I think probably Wednesday, and I would have done it then, but I had finals and I ended up getting sick after my finals. I'm done with the semester, so more videos, more fun. And I want to start off with a bit of an anniversary celebration of really three different subjects, and I'm starting first with PlayStation. I really like the PlayStation, like 20 friggin' years. I'm 22 years old. I'm turning 23. Like, wow. I'm 2 years older than the PlayStation. But I really enjoy the PlayStation. I remember when I first got it for my birthday, my grandfather got it for me. I don't even remember why he got it for me. I guess I had wanted one because I don't remember ever wanting one, but I got it, and I really appreciate it. So thanks, Grandpa. And I remember that my first game on there was A Bug's Life, which I kind of got into, and I still actually have it. And then I got Spyro, I think. But it also came with the demo disc, and I kind of wish I still had the demo disc. I feel like I can't find the specific one. It had the Musashi Bushido game. It had Spyro on there, Crash 3, and Medieval, as well as one of the Tomb Raider games. Oh, and it had Metal Gear Solid as well. I remember I played that a lot, and I really enjoyed it. Um, it was sort of like the Sega Genesis for me, with where it had that game pack. The only difference being is that this was just like a demo disc. And sorry for all of, like, the clearing of the throat, and if my voice sounds weird. Again, I was sick, and I'm still kind of sick right now. I'm at like the near end congestion stage, but you know. Yeah, but and once I got that PlayStation, the PS1, it was like the big gray box. It wasn't like the white one though. I got like the OG one. It was friggin' that was like my main thing for the longest time. Like, originally, I was primarily a Nintendo and Sega kind of guy, and I wanted to get a Dreamcast at the time, but you know, that kind of. And I still kind of want to get a Dreamcast. I might pick one up in the future. But yeah, I got really into the PlayStation, and I know for Dragon Ball in particular, my first Dragon Ball Z game was Ultimate Battle 22, and because of that, it was special to me, and it was also my first time with dealing with imported games. Like, I'm not talking like emulation or anything like that. I'm talking like actually importing the real game. And I remember for my friends, like with Nick, and of course AJ came in as well around the tail end of this early PlayStation 1 Dragon Ball days, where, we would play, like, Ultimate Battle 22 and Final Bout. We had our games like Taifu was probably one of my favorites. I really like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. I do hope that we get to see more of them in the future. I feel like I'm one of the few who actually liked Enter the Dragonfly and Hero's Tale, and I've only played I've only played so much of Crash Bandicoot. I played 1, 2, Warped. Warped is probably my favorite because of the general scale of it. And Crash Bash I like because I got a chance to play as Tiny, my favorite character. And Crash Team Racing. Like, there are a lot of good games. Oh, and Ape Escape, that was another really fun game. Like, I feel like the PlayStation had a lot of fun games, and I feel like I was thinking about it because I watched Happy Console Gamers videos, and I think about, like, what makes Sony really different than Nintendo and why it has a certain charm for some people. And I consider myself just a general gamer. Like, I like games. I don't necessarily particularly go to one side. I will play. Heck, one of the more recent games I purchased was The Sims 3 on the Wii, which shows, like, and of course I was playing like Gex on my GameCube earlier, or I guess on the Wii, and Tales of Hearts are on my Vita. Like I go all over the place when it comes to games. I just like the games. But PlayStation is probably the one that I like playing the most. I really like the controller. I feel like I'm one of the few who actually doesn't necessarily like the PS4 controller. Mainly because I'm also thinking in terms of emulation for like PS1 and PS2 and PS3 games when they eventually get to it. How are you going to replicate the select and start button, even though you've got like the share and the options button? I guess you could do that with options, but it would be kind of awkward, I think. But that's just me. But yeah, like I had a lot of memories with the PlayStation. Monkey Magic. Oh man, that was another game that I really got into, and Mega Man X4, probably my favorite Mega Man game, and the Inuyasha game, Feudal Fairy Tale. That's where I first saw Koga and like later characters like Naraku and whatnot. That's sort of where I got like more of my start in Inuyasha, and I remember. Let's see, Digimon World was really fun. I'm actually looking at my I have a lot of like fun memories, and I remember Digimon World 3 I really enjoyed for some reason. I say that as if it's generally considered bad. And of course, with the Tales series, Tales of Eternia, wow. Like I still remember this. Like I bought it. I convinced my parents to buy it for me during the summer off of Amazon. And when I finally got it, like the day I got it, when I was done playing for the night and I went to bed, I actually took the case, because it wasn't like your standard PlayStation Dual case where you take out the instruction manual and and after that you have the you won't have the instruction manual anymore. You'll just have like just the disc. It was different because since it was a 2-disc thing, you could you could still see like the cover art, and I put it like on my shelf where I could see it when I woke up. Like wow, I don't know, like Eternia, I feel like it's had a really profound effect on me from the very beginning. And I remember hearing about Soul Reaver back then. Like the PlayStation is definitely the original PlayStation. Gex 3 I played on both the PlayStation and the N64, and I think it may possibly be my all-time favorite game. I'm not entirely sure. No, I don't want to give away any spoilers of what my all-time favorite game is. I'll still have to think about it. But and so many friggin' games, like the Toy Story 2 game I remember playing a lot, and I remember seeing the advertisements like they show out the first game, like, in this one you get to actually play as Buzz Lightyear. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet. I remember playing Mega Man X4, hearing about X5, but I didn't play it because Blockbuster didn't have it, but they had Mega Man X6. And I remember I got it, and I'm like, what, Zero dies? And of course, I learned that he comes back. And yeah, the Mega Man X games, boy. What other games did I play on the... I remember the Grinch game. I played a lot of different games, and I remember I rented... Spyro 2, and I got to the last level, and the game froze, and I got so mad I actually smashed the disc into pieces. And so I did the same thing with a Spider-Man PS1 game, which was another fun memory. And I kind of went on a little tangent, but I guess I probably should finish the fact that the Spider-Man game was actually a rental, so that could have ended badly. But the point being is that I feel like with Sony, obviously they don't have like the first party support like the Marios and the Zelda, but I feel like with Naughty Dog and like the exclusives they do get, like God of War now, I feel like that kind of makes up for it, because it's like second party, but it's basically first party because second party, it's made by someone else, but it's only for that console. It's like, what's the point of calling it not first party? But I also feel like that the PlayStation also had a really strong third party lineup, and I feel like that's kind of where Nintendo has sort of lost it a little bit. Like, yeah, they've got really good like first party games if you're into those, but like if you're not into those, you're probably not going to play too many. And of course, the Wii, yeah, it had some decent stuff. Like I still say I really like Pandora's Tower. Though at the same time, I shouldn't have to wait so late for one damn game. And there are good games, but like I don't know. I feel like with the Wii U, I just don't really see too much that I'm actually super excited about. I just feel like I'm seeing games that okay, it's a Nintendo game, so if since I like Donkey Kong, since I like Dynasty Warriors, and I like Link as a character, and I like the Mario games, like by the rules of things that I like, I should get those. It's like it's not even like a real affection kind of thing, like with PlayStation, and I'm still trying to like play some PlayStation games that I missed out on. I remember watching Nick play through Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I of course got to the Tales series, so Eternia and Destiny, and I got Phantom Volume 1, which is probably my list of Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 5, which I still need to finish, and 6. I have the anthology collection. What else? What else am I missing? Clock Tower, and of course, well, I'll tell you about the First Sphere later on. But I got The Struggle Within or Ghost Head, which it's probably my favorite out of all of them. Yeah. Then Clock Tower, and got Soul Reaver, Soul Calibur, or I guess Soul Blade technically. But in Gex 3, I finally got that in Monkey Magic, and I play Taifu a little bit. I'm starting to kind of reconnect with I'm trying to really complete my PlayStation collection. I've got a few more games I think that I want. I never did get Dragon Ball Z Legends on the PlayStation. I know that seems to be like the quintessential import for Dragon Ball games, but I will definitely pick it up in the future. I'm even thinking about getting Rockman X4 just on the grounds that Mega Man X4 is probably my favorite just for the collection purposes. And then, of course, with the PS2, I really, really enjoyed that. Champions of Norath, Tales of the Abyss, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Star Ocean, let's see, Kingdom Hearts, RPG Maker, that was always really fun. Shining Tears, oh boy. Ys, like I got into Ys through Archnapishtim, and of course one of my big memories with the PS2 is official US PlayStation Magazine and PSM, mainly OPM because they came with the congestion. They came with the demo disc that had all the different demos on it, and that's where I played Mega Man X8 really early. Of course, I had Command Mission, so I got to play Return to Arms early. I got to play Ys, Archnapishtim early. I got to play what else did I get to play early? Shining Tears was one, and that's actually kind of where I got into it, and just so many different games. And Chain Die was another one that I still need to pick up. And of course I've got a few other imported. I'm still actually trying to expand on my PS2 collection. I actually recently ordered Archnapishtim off of eBay, and that'll be coming soon. But I got the Berserk game on PS2, Yu Yu Hakusho Forever, Full Metal Alchemist 3, Tales of Destiny Rebirth and Destiny 2, and Symphonia and Volume 2. Like the PS2 I really, really enjoyed, and I played that a lot as well. And of course PS3, it kind of had a bit of a slow start. That was a bit of a carryover from PSP with Untold Legends, and my first game on there was Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 06. I think my first game on PS2 was Kingdom Hearts, and then I got Mega Man X7 after that, I believe. But yeah, I mean the PS3, Demon Souls, fucking Burst Limit, Saint Seiya Brave Soldiers, Dark Souls 2, Minecraft, Tales of Exilia 2, fucking Dragon's Dogma, Dynasty Warriors 8, 7, and all those, Mortal Kombat, Dragon Age, a lot of fucking PlayStation 3 games. Warriors Orochi 3. It wasn't until PlayStation 3 that I really got into Dynasty Warriors. My first game being Dynasty Warriors 6 on the PS3. But damn, and Overlord, there's a lot of games, and I really like the PSP too. That one, I gotta admit though, that one I kind of got into through false advertisement because I was watching OPM, and it was like a little their feature that month was of the PSP, and the guy was saying like, you're playing a PS2 game, and if you have to go out, you can transfer over your PS2 game to the PSP, and you can continue playing. I'm like, that is sweet. And so I really wanted a PS2, and so I spent that entire summer saving up the $250 for the PSP. That's probably the most amount of money I had saved up at the time. Of course, now I've saved up over like 400 for like AWA and whatnot. But the point being, that was like something I really wanted to get, and I got Untold Legends, and it had a bit of a slow start as well. I feel like that's something that kind of that happens with Sony a bit, the slow starts. But I feel like what kind of makes them better is that even though they have a slow start, for me personally, they've got that one game that comes out that just really brings it up. Like for the PSP, at the time, it was probably Dragon Ball Z Shin Budokai, and of course, Tales of Eternia, which to this day is probably still one of my most played PSP games. I still need to get a Saint Seiya Omega Ultimate Cosmos, Kingdom of Paradise, or Kingdom Under Paradise, or whatever you call it. What's it called? What did I do to deserve this, my lord? That dungeon management game. The East series, I play a lot of that in there. I actually recently got East 1 and 2 Chronicles on the PSP from Gamefly. Radiant Mythology 1, 2, and 3 were great. Phantasy Star Portable, I really like. Crisis Core, wow, like that. I actually really like that game, and I haven't finished 7, but it's funny, I haven't finished 7, but I've watched Advent Children, played Dirge of Cerberus, and I've played Crisis Core. I really fucking like Crisis Core. Jeez. It's interesting how, like, with the GameCube, I think of it as having the most gems, but then I look at, like, the Sony, where there aren't as many gems, but to me, they're more precious, I think. Because in the end, they have like a bigger impact. I mean, I can't really argue too much with Symphonia, and Custom Robo is probably the biggest thing. Like, wow. But yeah, like, and of course the Vita, I like it. Once Memories of Silsetta came out, like that was my jam. And of course Hearts are now out, so that's giving me even more reason to dust it off and play it. And I like having a handheld Minecraft that can actually be used on a controller. I have the Pocket version on iPhone as well, but I think the Vita version is probably the best handheld. And I'm definitely going to be picking up a PS4 and hopefully maybe Samurai Warriors 4. And of course Bloodborne. And Xenoverse is going to come out. I'm going to get that on PS3. Tales of Zestiria. Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. Fucking so many other games, and still more from my past that I need to pick up, like Drakengard 2 is one of my favorites. Oh boy. Being a game collector is something. I really love PlayStation. It's probably my favorite. Like I don't really consider myself a fanboy, but I think it probably is my favorite out of the brands. That Namco Bandai, they tend to do everything that I want. Saint Seiya, Tales, Dragon Ball, Dark Souls. That's really all I need. And Elder Scrolls, like Oblivion, I got my start on there with PS3, and that to me was just an amazing game. I could go on and on about my memories with PlayStation and just things with my friends and all the different stuff we've done, and just, wow. 20 years. It's really something. But I think that's really all I can say right now. I don't want to bore you guys too much, especially after I keep clearing my throat and everything. So, and going on tangents and slipping up my words. I'm like the most professional YouTuber guy, totally. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get a PS4 and a Wii U as well, and probably an Xbox One. I like video games. I just like to play them mostly on my PS4. Or on PlayStation. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little trip on memory lane that I went with PlayStation. Here's to another 10 and 20 and 30 years later, PlayStation. Hopefully you'll bring us some cool stuff in the future. From what I've heard, you're going to be bringing some pretty cool stuff, like Bloodborne and other games. And of course, I'm going to be doing two other anniversary specials. One of them I want to make a bigger thing, but I'm going to get to that later on. You don't need to know about all my little plans. So yeah, that's really all I have to say right now. Glad to like PlayStation and keep playing all your games. If you don't like PlayStation, that's fine, but I do. So yeah, see you guys next time.